Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good day to each and every one of us, uh, especially to Ma'am Wafa Yu Makadatar. I am Abdulaziz B. Dumaog, a Group 1 reporter. So, I will be discussing some portion of our topic, which is Introduction to Engineering Management or Management Engineering. So the assigned topic for me is how one may become a successful engineer manager. So there are so many factors that we should consider of becoming a successful or a very good engineer manager. Every industry or organization that is related with developing or civilizing a certain place, engineers are so required. Engineers are so required. But engineering or engineer managers are so much required. Why? It is because engineering requires manager who can supervise. Engineering requires managers. Engineering managers requires or engineering requires managers who can supervise other engineers and the projects, engage in new development, and solve problems in organization. Every engineering managers are responsible for hiring staff, supervising employees, setting budgets and goals for projects, leading research and development projects, and checking the accuracy of the work produced under their supervisions. Becoming a very successful or a successful engineer manager does not happen by chance. Although luck is one of the factors or one of the reasons that we should consider, it is very important for engineer manager to know the different types of factors leading to successful managers or successful organizations. According to Kritner indicates at least three general preconditions for achieving lasting success as a manager. So Kritner have stated that there are three factors or preconditions that that an engineering manager that should have or should has for him to become a successful engineering manager. The first one is the ability, and the second is motivation to manage, and the last one is opportunity. So ability. The first one is ability. Managerial ability refers to the capacity of an engineer manager to achieve organizational objectives effectively and efficiently. It means that an engineering manager or an engineer manager should at least has a skill or ability of being an effective or efficient for him to be more successful. So there is a meaning of effectiveness according to Huygens. Effectiveness refers to a description of whether objectives are accomplished, while efficiency is a description of the relative amount of resource used in obtaining effectiveness. So let us give some example of that effectiveness and efficiency. So if a certain engineer or engineer are being asked by their or being tasked by their supervisor to make a road or a house, and the timeline or the time frame that is being given to them is only 6 or 7 or to up to 8 months. And if they finish that certain task or that certain project within that time frame, they can be called effective. And when they also finish that certain project by inputting or using resources uh, that is not exceeding to the estimated expense or estimated cost that could be used for that building, they could they could be called effective, efficient. They could be called efficient because they used materials or uh, uh, labors in an efficient way, meaning nakatipid sila. So they can be called efficient kasi nakatipid sila. So uh, having an ability of being an effective and efficient is one of the factors that could be considered to become a successful engineer manager. So uh, every one of us should acquire or at least learn how to be effective and how to be efficient for the future. Not only for our future, but for our daily living, daily life. Uh, because nowadays, uh, the 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 said pandemic, palidas na nurun wallah, the said pandemic is affecting our economy. So we should know how to be effective on using our resources, and we should be uh, efficient on expensing our resources or using our resources. So the next one would be motivation to manage. So there are many people have the desire to work and finish specific tasks assigned by superiors, because if a certain employee is being tasked by his superior of a certain job or to do a certain job, he should do it because it is part of his job. So he should do it. So, but not many are motivated to supervise or to supervise or to manage other people that may contribute to the realization of the organization's object. So not all the superiors, or the bosses or the highly ranked person or superiors are more motivated of doing their jobs to manage or supervise their subordinates. The one of the reasons maybe they are being they are lack of motivations or encouragement or reasons to supervise them or to teach them on how to be effective employee. So John B. Miner, a management researcher, developed a psychometric instrument to measure objectively an individual motivation to manage. So he stated seven of them, seven instrument that a engineering manager should has. So first is favorable attitude toward those in positions of authority such as superiors. So, mm, for me, I for me, a superior should treat or should know or should be good should be good towards their subordinates on how they are having a communication with their subordinates, or on how they are interact with their subordinates. So a superior should know how to be to ha, to should know how to be good, or should know how to a become become a uh, become a very good superior, because one of the factors that may affect the job, or the uh, the one of the factors that may affect the environment of the subordinates is their superior. If the superior is good towards them, the subordinates also will not become will not be will not will not be will not become hard-headed, or what do you call that, will not become a stubborn employees or stubborn uh, subordinates. So the second one, desire to engage in games or sports competition with peers. So we should also consider this second one, to engage in games or sports competition with peers. Sometimes a superior should engage with his subordinates through games or sports that the subordinates may feel that they are being treated equally. Huh? They are being treated equally, or they are being treated as a part of the organization through conducting sports or outing, that dyan nangyari yung mga uh, team building, kagaya nun. Some of the agencies are always conducting team building in some venues, so that uh, the employees are not uh, being what do you call that, outplaced, yung sabi natin na hindi sila na OP, o di kaya na maramdaman nila, or they may feel that they belong to the organization. So the third one, desire to engage in occupational or work-related competition with peers. Desire to engage in occupational or work-related competition with peers. Uh, so when you see your superior subordinates that is working, you should know how to approach them. You should know how to interact with them. You should know how to teach them, because subordinates are always depending on their superiors. So you should know how to interact with them. So the fourth one is desire to assert oneself and take charge. So being a superior, being a engineer manager, you should always be positive in every problem that you are encountering, and you yourself should be the one to uh, solve it first, solve the problem first. Kasi hindi pwede na lahat na lang iasa sa mga subordinates natin, na ang mga problema ay kailangan masolve nito. Hindi. Dapat ay tumulong din yung mga engineer manager or yung mga superiors. The fifth one is the desire to exercise power and authority over others. Desire exercise. How are you going to exercise your power as a superior? you are just going to limit yourself into being a superior. Yes, you are the superior of a certain team or a certain organization, but you have to know how to use it. By how? By how? By showing them that as a superior, I am only your superior. I am, and you should not be afraid of me, and you should not be intimidated of me, because I am a good superior and approachable superior. Because if you are always angry or you are being bad, no one will approach you, and they might resign. Number six, desire to behave in a distinctive way. Desire to behave in a distinctive way, which includes standing out from the crowd. Uh, Desire to behaving in a distinctive way means that uh, you should you should always show your subordinates that you have an idea regarding on, or you have a solution regarding on a certain problem, or you have an idea regarding on how are you going to handle the project, or on how are you going to uh, handle that problem. The seventh one is the sense of responsibility in carrying out the routine duties associated with managerial work. So, sense of responsibility of carrying out the routine duties associated. So, being an engineer manager, you have to be sensitive. Why? Because being a sensitive is one of the factors that may affect the relationship between you and your subordinates. Why? It is because uh, if you always, uh, for example, I am an employee of uh, Mustafa Pirino, and he always asks me, oh, to do this, to do that, and to do this, to complete this, to handle this, and like that. Uh, and I by myself will get angry, and I may not handle it, and I may say a bad words because he's not being sensitive, considering that I'm not the only employee that he has. He might also have, he might also has Saad Ampuan or Nizam Bonta, but he always ask me to do it and to do it and to do it, and that is not good. So the third one will be opportunity. Successful managers become possible only if those having the ability and motivation are given the opportunity to manage. So uh, having the motivation to manage and having the ability, you can acquire or generate the opportunity of becoming a successful engineer manager. Because if that two skills or two characteristics, the motivation to manage and the ability, are with you, you can have the opportunity to manage or to become an engineering manager on a in a certain organization. So the opportunity for successful manager has two requirements. These are the requirements. The number one is obtaining a suitable managerial job. Obtaining a suitable managerial job. So how are you going to obtain a suitable managerial job? First of all, you are qualified for it. You are qualified for it. You deserve it. Or you apply for it. So if you yourself can feel or know that you are qualified, you deserve that position, you may you or you deserve that kind of position, you may apply for it. Huh? And the second one is finding a supportive climate once on a job. Finding a supportive climate once on a job. So how are you going to find a supportive climate once on the job? First, you are going to evaluate your subordinates. How are you going to evaluate your subordinates? You can see through them that if they are always interacting with you, they have conversation with you, uh, so maybe we can say that as a supportive climate. Or maybe if a subordinates are always helping you on your problem, on how are you going to solve a problem, and that can be called a supportive climate. So newspapers advertisement abound with needs for engineer manager. It is a little difficult to determine if the firms requiring their services provide a supportive climate for effective and efficient management. A supportive climate is characterized by the recognition of managerial talent through financial and non-financial rewards. So there are also uh, there are also skills that we should consider of being a good, successful uh, engineer manager. The first one is the communication. Communication with the subordinates. How are you going to communicate with them if you don't know how to communicate? The second one is leadership. So leadership, yes, you should know how to become a good, effective, efficient leader to your subordinates. And the third one is the evaluation of programs such as time frames, finances, and staffing. On it is also you are going to evaluate the programs such as time frames, finances, and staffing. The time frame of a certain project, you should consider it. The finance or the expenses, the cost of a certain project, you should consider it. And the staffing, on how are you going to make move of the our employees effectively. And the project management from design to completion. And you are also going to supervise the project from the start up until to the completion. And marketing, on how are you going to promote your project to somebody. So I hope you understand what I have discussed here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.